Thanks for being here. A very interesting thing that Philip mentioned last time, and Sedat has mentioned that too, it's the term software engineer. Well, you will see that there will be a lot of software engineers working with us during the Datathon as supervisors. I mean, the thing is, data engineering or data science, you cannot do it properly if you don't know how to do software engineering. Okay, because all of those steps. So basically, you guys are from the computer science background. So this is definitely a very good advantage for you to become data engineers or data scientists. I mean, you will have the background for that. And if you really concentrate on the software engineering part of your studies and then later also become software engineer, it would be easier for you to become a good data engineer or data scientist. And especially your team, you will be working as a team, of course, in your professional life. Your team and the IT and the back office, they will thank you. That's really important to understand the software engineering. But we won't be doing any software engineering this time. We are doing a datathon, not a hackathon. So it's a data-driven hackathon. And today I will not waste much time. I would start with my presentation. So just for the understanding, today we're covering feature engineering, and I am a data engineer. My background is data engineering. So data science, datathon, data engineering, whatever it is, it always starts with the word data. And where does a data stay? What do you think? Anyone? You can either, how many participants do we have? You can just write it down. What do you think? Where does a data stay? Excel sheet? CSV file? Which form? What do we know? Anyone? Well, it's easy, a database. So I have requested Humayun to send you the credentials for a database, and we have created a database for you, everybody. And we have also gave you the credentials to, like at least to see and read the data tables there. So how many of you have done that? Please raise your hands. Okay, someone has downloaded pgadmin. Okay. All right, so let's get back to even more basic. I will show you how to connect to a database server from using a user interface. Someone has downloaded pgadmin. You can also download dbeaver. I personally use DataGrip. So I will be showing it on DataGrip, but it is the same. Okay, and the SSH tunneling, I will show you how you do that because the structure is the same. So first, I will show how to connect by a user interface to a database. And then I will show you how to connect by shell, like it's a little bit high level. And then I will show you how to connect with a Python script. Okay, how does it sound? Are you okay? Can we do it like this? Okay, so I am going to share my screen, okay? I will just explain now, and then if there is any questions, I will answer them. So first of all, you need a new database connection. So from pgadmin or DataGrip or dbeaver, you always have to start a new connection. So here, I actually already connected the server. So let me connect. So in DataGrip, you can just simply click here and click on data source. In pgadmin, you have to go to the dashboard. If you connected to pgadmin, then you have to go to the dashboard, and there you will see a database sign, weird disks. It says add server. So you have to click on add server on pgadmin. About dbeaver, I'm not sure. I cannot say it from the top of my head. So you go to data source, and this is a Postgres database. So we click at Postgres. So this is what you see. This is the configuration. First of all, you choose the SSH SSL. Okay? When you are there at SSH SSL, then click on Use SSH Tunnel. And in case of pgadmin, you can immediately type here. But in case of data grip, you will have to add it. So this is your host address. The port is 22. Your username is server. Your password is already given. It's on the Zoom chat, or it was sent to you by email. And then you can test the connection first. Okay, so let me test the connection. Successfully connected. Okay. All right. I click on OK. Then you go to General. So let me explain you the architecture behind it. You have just did the SSH tunneling to the server. So this is the username and the IP address of the server, and you have to provide a password for that. You can also use SSL and use like client certificate and everything, but that's a little bit high level discussion. I'm not going there. I'm just staying here with the SSH tunneling. So once you are connected, you have tested the connection, and yes, it said it was oh no, I don't want to do it now. So I just showed you that the connection worked. Let's do it again. Here, successfully connected. Okay, now you go to the general. So you are connected to the SSH server. Here, your host is the local host. Now you type down the local host, and the port is 5432. It's standard, but sometimes if there are like a lot of connections, you might want to change the port. But for now, put localhost at host and 5432 as port. And then your username is student, and your password is, I think, Ada Lovelace 2021. Let me try. Student Ada Lovelace 2021. And here, put a name, any name, anything. Let me put Keokradong at LC. Yeah, that's fine. That's actually, I'm at server ALC. So for Siddharth, Smith, and Philip, if you don't know what Keokradong is, Keokradong was supposed to be, it was believed that it was the highest peak, highest mountain in Bangladesh, but it is not anymore. So I usually use names of mountains for naming the databases. So that's why the name Keokradong. Let's click OK. And you can see it's working here. Look at my cursor, and I think I'm connected. Databases, Postgres, schemas, public. There are 4 tables. You should be able to see that. Now I'm stopping the sharing and going back to you. Acha. So now, did you understand? If you understood what I've just explained, please raise your hands.
Yeah, just sent a file in the chat where you can see how it looks in like some other application, in this case Table Plus, because it might look like a little bit different. There, the SSH tunnel configuration is at the bottom, and the database connection information is at the top.
Shorna, I'm requesting Shorna. Can you please, Human, can you unmute 1603033 Shorna, and let me have a look at her screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, good. Now, don't go to connection. Go to SSH tunnel. You're at connection. Don't go there.
Okay.
Delete everything. Delete. Go to connection. I think it is. Let's start it from beginning. Click cancel. Click cancel. Down there. Yes. Okay. Good. Now, add new server. Now first go to SSH tunnel. SSH tunnel. Yes. And then click on use SSH tunneling. It's at no. Yes. Now the tunnel host is exactly 13962. Yes. Username server, not student server. And authentication is password. Click korte hobe tomake. Yes. Oh, sorry, na password chilo. Sorry, it was at password. Sorry, don't. Yeah. So now click on password. Yes, এখন passwordটা দাও. I think it was ALC at Datathon, something like that. Save password. You can do that. And now go to general.
Ma'am,
So
it
what
can't be done because name must be specified.
জেনারেলে যাও, তুমি জেনারেলে যাও, ওখানেই এটা সমস্যাটা হচ্ছে, নেম মাস্ট বি স্পেসিফাইড, জেনারেল থেকে হচ্ছে। হ্যাঁ, নাও নেম এনিথিং, Shona 33 whatever, name anything. Okay, now go to, oh god, go to connection. Yes, now you write down localhost, host name or address, localhost. Yeah, or 127.0.0.1. I will explain you later, like you will have something more. Now maintenance database is Postgres. Wait, that's actually Ada Love. Write down Ada Love ALC Datathon 2021. Human, please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, ALC Datathon 2021. No, 2021. Yeah.
I wrote the credentials in the chat again with proper formatting.
Yes, yes. Username would be student. You can, Shona, you can copy paste the format. No, it's fine. Go, stay at connection. Stay at connection. You're still connecting. Here, your username, it says Postgres. Don't put Postgres, but now comes the student. Here, exactly. Here, student. Now the password for the students.
Ma'am, ALC @ Datathon 21. Oh no, sorry, ma'am. G ma'am, I understand.
I think Ada Lovelace was the password.
G ma'am. Yes.
Ada Lovelace or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Now save. Yeah. Let's see if it works. Okay, click on Shona on the left. On the left. At the arrow. Click at the arrow. Click at the arrow. You see the arrow? Yeah, click at the arrow. Click at the databases. Click at click at the arrow. Click at the arrow. Arrow. Yes. Click at schemas. It's exactly down below schemas. Now click at public. Okay. Click at tables. No. Tables. So here are the 4 tables. You can see them. Now, you can right click on the table. Right click koro. Right click koro. Je kono ektaতে right click koro. Now you see, let's say, I think, I don't exactly remember on PG admin. I think it's how do you open a new SQL editor? So that, can you help me there?
So on top menu, we see tools. You can go there.
Where?
On the top bar.
Okay.
Tools.
You can choose query tool.
Query tool.
The one on the top.
Okay. Now just is this the one?
Yeah.
Okay, now write down select star from.
Yeah,
you can also count rows.
You can click one of the tables so it can go away. Yes, and now in the query editor, you see on the right.
Query editor. Shona, query editor. The big window on the right side.
It says
yes.
1.
Here, yeah, click in the window, yes, and now write down select star. I'm putting in the chat. Everyone, putting in the chat for everyone. Select star. Oh, sorry. from AA complete K values.
Ma'am, I can't see the chat box now because
Achha, I'm dictating
screen.
Okay. I'm dictating you. Select star from AA complete with table name, the name of the table, AA complete underscore K values limit. No, limit, you have to put a space. K values limit space 100 semicolon. Now run it. Upore dekho, play. There's a play button on the bar. Yes, run it. See?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see the table.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You're most welcome. This is how you connect by a user interface to a database. First of all, you connected through the SSH tunneling to the server, and then from the server, you connected to the database. Okay, I think that was complicated enough. I will skip the connection via shell. Let's say who are interested in understanding how I connect to a database via shell. Hostname on connection. Hostname on connection will be localhost. So again, the architecture is first you go to the SSH tunnel. So it's a gateway. You connect it. That's the server is the name. The IP address is the address. You connect and your username. You knock the door. You put your password, and then you are through the SSH inside the server. And from here, in the connection, that's the database connection. First, it was the server connection. Now it's the database connection. Once you're within this SSH tunneling, it is now localhost. Okay, so connection is localhost. And there the port is standard 5432. And there you choose database name is ALC Datathon 2021. Your user is student, and you have the credentials for student there. I will very fast. I'm actually thinking. Philip, are you there? Sedat and Philip, are you guys there? I was just thinking if I could consult you.
I'm there.
Okay. So do you think I should explain them how to connect it on a shell?
I mean, it's pretty easy to see, and you can just, after you showed them, paste the commands, and yeah.
It's
then
actually,
they have all the options.
Yeah, on a shell, you will also understand what I'm exactly doing. So I'm switching back to share my screen.
Regarding the tunneling, I think it's easy to understand in terms of basically that you okay, like IPs are basically what you see from a certain point in the network. Like imagine looking around and you see objects all around you, and all of those objects have an IP and are visible to you because you're at a certain location in the world. And if you tunnel to somewhere, then you basically pretend to be somewhere else. That means if you like look around there, then you will see different objects. And this is exactly what's happening here. So we SSH tunnel to somewhere where the database is visible, because from your PC, you can't see it, but if you go through the tunnel, then you can see it. And that's why there's like two sets of credentials here. First, the credentials that allow you to go where the database is, and then the credentials to actually access the database.
Yeah.
I hope that was understandable.
Yeah. I can see two raised hands. Do you guys have questions? Nilima and Hosnera Begum, do you have questions? Okay, good. So let me show you the how to do it on a shell. So my shell, where am I? It's anyway. So you can see my screen, I hope, right? So you can see my shell. I'm using a Mac, so in Mac it's terminal. The problem is in Windows, if you're using Windows, I will suggest you to get Ubuntu or Linux system. That's important because, or you need a good shell environment, okay? So on a shell, you just put, okay, I'm at root. I'm using my credentials. So my credentials is root and your credential, your name is server. My name is root. So I'm accessing the root, SSH root. Now they're asking for password. You won't see the password on a shell, but I have typed it. So now you see I am at root at localhost. Okay, I'm at the localhost now. So what will I do? I'm going inside as a user. I mean, there's also a user ALC Datathon 2021. That's especially for me, but you can also use student. And then if you do that, see, I'm here. I'm inside the environment. Now I type PSQL. That's the command for the database. So here, these are some commands. I can see that in this database, in the schema public, we have these 4 tables. So if I go on like select star from, let's say, basic something, limiting to 100. So this is how the table looks like from a shell. So this is just to show you how it works. Let's say, don't be afraid if you don't understand it yet. Okay. I don't know if you are familiar familiar with working with shells. But if you cannot, that's why I have given the options that you can connect to the database using a user interface like pgadmin, datagrip, or dbeaver. You can also access the database through shell. That's also fine. If you want, you can play around a little bit and see if you can access. But if you're using Windows PowerShell, I don't think it will work. Let's say it will work, but I don't know the commands for Windows PowerShell for SSH. But Ubuntu, Linux and Unix system, they're very easy to get connected. Okay, what is meant by limit 100? So in your university, in your classes, when you have the database topic, the lecture, we usually, I learned SQL or MySQL. So it's limit 100 is nothing other than select top 10 or top 100 star from table. But this is the PSQL syntax. So in case of PSQL syntax, you put it down like select star from table, limit 100. The top goes down. That's the thing. Tahia Sultana failed to create. Okay, connect to server. Yeah, thank you, Hosnaira Begum, to explain it anyway. Gateway. Okay, Windows users can use PuTTY. Yes, exactly. Windows users can use PuTTY. Hosnaira is showing me something. Error. Okay, I know why. I know what happened. I know what happened. Yes, you don't have access to the Postgres database. The database name is actually ALC Datathon 2021. Okay, bolo.
আমি সম্ভবত ডেটাবেজের নেমটা দিতে ভুল করেছিলাম।
Exactly. So click there, right click দাও একটা. And now you go to, I think, edit source. Yeah. Oh, you're using Datagrip. That's good. হচ্ছে না? আবার ক্লিক করো তো Postgres localhost, right click, edit source. No, properties. Sorry, properties. I think properties. Yeah. So now you put down ALC Datathon 2021. And everything else is okay. Test connection. Yes, okay. Very good. ALC Datathon. Wait a second, it's refreshing. The wheel is wheeling. ওই চাকাটা ঘুরতেছে বামে, হ্যাঁ একটু ওয়েট করো, ওটা আসুক আগে। It's taking some time to refresh. Now it's fine. You can click there. You can click on the arrow to see if you have databases, schemas. Yes, now try. Select star from any table. There, it's coming down. What? What? Did anyone drop it? No, you don't have the credentials to drop it. No. This is weird. Double click koro to, a complete key values, double click koro to. Data group should be able to show you the table like that. And it's coming. It's there. Okay. Yes, it's there. Okay, now I understand. So here's the thing about data grip. You can see on the right side the console and console 1. Please delete one of them. Yes, delete one of them. And another thing for everyone who is using data grip, please go to the databases and edit the connection. Go to the properties again. This is another important thing that I'm showing you. And now you go to options. Upore, general pashe, upore. Options. Now you click on single connection mode, please. Yes, now apply OK. Yeah. The thing is, yes. Please, everybody, if you can find the configuration, click on single connection mode, because we don't want like everybody to open multiple connections in the database. It's actually not good. It's really not good. So this is important. And now try one thing. Right click on the database, but anywhere, right click, and now you write SQL, not edit source. Click on new. Query console. And now to write down select star. Okay, wait a second. It's not introspected. Yeah, select star from write down, yes, k values, limit 10. It's not introspected. Okay, this is something really weird. I don't think it will work. Will it?
Maybe the database is overloaded because everybody's
getting connected, probably. Yeah, probably. It's this is really weird. Write down public a complete k values এর আগে একটা public লিখে একটা dot দাও, a complete k values এর আগে. Yes, here public dot. Now run. I'm thinking, no, it's something is wrong here. Anyway.
Yeah, I also can't currently see them because I guess, it's just stuck on something.
It's stuck, I think. Anyway, Hosnera, I'll come back to you. Screen sharing, you can close the screen. Let me have a look. I mean, I can enter. Just a second. So let me check. I will share my screen now. Let me check it myself. If that is not working, then I'm pretty much sure something is wrong.
I had to close my connection and reestablish it, and then it worked.
Yeah, probably that's the reason. So let's say Let's see. Yeah, mine is working. Yeah, it's working. My connection is working. So if something is not working, please disconnect from the database and reconnect, okay?
You don't have to delete the connection. You
No.
just have to click, in this case,
You can
I guess,
just
like the stop
disconnect.
button.
Yeah, at the stop button. So I have disconnected Keokradong. And this Zotlang, that's actually the student credential that I have, and Sakahafon, that's the root credential. So student is working. So you see here's a green sign here under the head of the elephant. So this is working. The others are closed. So please, everybody, have only one connection, okay? Now, so our outline for today was basically database, feature engineering, and a little bit of descriptive analysis. And then in the end, I wanted to show you the logit model. We have spent quite a long time about discussing about the database, and I was pretty much sure about it, that it will take some time. So now let's see, is everything working? I think most of you have understood, and if anyone cannot connect, I would say please get back to me after this workshop. So we have tried if the dbeaver or pgadmin or datagrip is working. Yes, mostly answer is yes. Connection via shell, I have shown you how to connect via shell. You can do that, but we are not expecting you to do that yet. And what I wanted to show you, which you will definitely need in future, is connection via Python or R. And we will take a break. Where are we? Yeah, we will take a break very soon. Let's take a break for 10 minutes, and we will get back again. Okay, and if you have any questions now, you can ask me directly, and I can also answer live. আমি ডাইরেক্ট কথা বলে তোমাদের উত্তর দিতে পারবো। Okay.
আমার হচ্ছে পিজি অ্যাডমিনটা ডাউনলোড করা ছিল না, মাত্র ডাউনলোড করলাম, বাট আমি একটু কনফিউজড হয়ে গেছে কানেকশনটা দেওয়ার জন্য, মানে দিতে পারছি।
তোমার নাম কি? তুমি কে?
প্রেমা বলছি।
আচ্ছা, SSH tunnel, that's right. Server, that's right. পাসওয়ার্ডটা কি সার্ভারে পাসওয়ার্ড দিয়েছো তুমি?
Yes ma'am, আমি পাসওয়ার্ডটা সার্ভারের পাসওয়ার্ড দিয়েছি।
আচ্ছা, good. Now go to general. Write down any name. Your name, my name, any name. Bangopusagor, Bay of Bengal, Dhaka, Chittagong, anything. Good.
And then
whatever, একটা ক্লিক করে দাও, যে কোনো একটা ক্লিক করো, just click anything. Now go to connection. Now write down host name address is localhost, LOCAL, localhost একসাথে. Good. Port 5432. Maintenance database is ALC Datathon 2021. Username is student. Password, student je password ta dewa hoyse, I think it's Ada Lovelace something, I forgot. Zoom er chat e dewa ache already, কয়েকবার করে দেওয়া হয়েছে। No, I don't think it's the password for student. That's the password for server. Student-এর password অন্য একটা ছিল। Yes, Save. Okay. This is your master password. This is your own password. Okay. This is something that we don't know about. This is something only you know. Okay. That's a master password for PG admin. And don't forget this password. Okay. This is your own password. Anything, whatever you want. Don't show it to me. তোমার পাসওয়ার্ড আমি দেখতে চাই না। Okay, good. Tanzin, you do that. In the meantime, I would like to answer Lisa Rahman. She's asking, I'm new to database, so I'm confused what kind of knowledge I will need for database for data hackathon. Okay, so the workshop that we're doing is not just for the datathon that we are organizing. We are trying to give you some knowledge along the way so that you are ready and you understand what you're dealing with when you are doing data engineering or data science and etc. So why do we need database? Because data is becoming so vast. We have so many data that we cannot use Excel sheets or CSV files anymore. So anything we want, like আমাদের যে এত বড় বড় ডেটা সেট, আমি যে মনে করো যে এবার যে ডেটাবেসে যে কানেকশন দিয়ে দিচ্ছি তোমাদেরকে, you will find 4 tables there. Those are huge. Those are not big data or something. They're just big in size. So if you export them in CSV file or something, your computer will hang. So you will need a database there. And why we need a little bit knowledge about database, I'm coming there because ultimately, if you think like data science is just like, you know, do some modeling, we have the tables, the columns, and we just select and read the data by Python or R, and we do whatever we want with the data, manipulating, descriptive analysis, plots, etc., etc. But you won't be able to do that if you have huge data, then because you cannot access to the data locally. You will need to access to the database to read the tables, to read the file from there. So now I will show you, let's say, if you want to do something with Python or like implement some plots or implement a machine learning model, you will have to do it in Python or R, not in SQL, not on the database. So I will show you after the break, after 5 minutes, I'll show you how you can connect from your Python script to the database and then read the data and then do whatever you want with the data on your Python environment. Okay, am I clear, Lisa? I mean, is it okay for you? Was that answer enough? Okay, no response. Okay, good. But don't be worried, okay? We won't be, the thing is, when I was studying in my bachelor's, we had the database management system lecture. I'm pretty much sure you will have it too. Free version of I think DB Anano, I'm coming back to you. Lisa, answering your question, you will learn what kind of databases there are, the 1NF form, 2NF, 3NF, Data Vault, and all the relational database management system, everything. You will learn all of it during your studies. So I would just say that you don't need to know exactly everything about database right now. You need to know how a database connection works, how you can read something from the database, or export something from the database so that you can manipulate the data, so that you can do some feature engineering. You can prepare the data for your machine learning algorithm, which is like what we will be doing in the next workshop. So until we go there, we need to pre-process the data. And that's why we need to have access to the database. And that's why we need to understand the tables and data that are there. But you don't have to download whatever, or like do some Khan Academy or YouTube video. If you want, yes, of course, but you don't have to do that right now. Yes, dbeaver, you can get the community edition. Datagrip might be problematic because it's JetBrains, like PyCharm, IntelliJ, Datagrip. I think you need a license for Datagrip. Yes. Oh, I didn't know. Free for students. Why are we using Postgres? Because why do you think? What would you use, Hosniara? What would you use? Suggest us something. What would you use? I'm waiting for your answer. I'm asking you. What would you use? Very good. NoSQL is, of course, definitely all right. But before going to NoSQL or let's say MongoDB or stuff like that, I wanted to, the thing is, the tables that I've prepared, those are not, let's say, eligible for NoSQL. Okay. You need to know when to use a relational database system and when to use NoSQL. Okay. And yeah, Philip?
I would even go as far as to say that with like the BJSON data type in Postgres, there's basically no reason to use NoSQL at all anymore. You can, like, most companies that started with NoSQL at some point realized that they were building a relational database, a classic relational database anyway, and were just like basically working their ways around the limitations of NoSQL. The only reason NoSQL is preferable or can be preferable to relational databases if you really have that kind of data. But then you really need to know that, and you also need to have a really huge database of objects. So basically, if I start a new project about anything, then I would start with a Postgres database, because Postgres is sane, unlike MySQL, which has very weird defaults and is very broken if you make a little mistake. And yeah, and just it will just work, and it will allow you to use it in a like grab back kind of way anyway if you use the JSON-B or BJSON data type.
So also, like, another information, PostgreSQL is the DBMS of the year 2020 as well. I just shared the link. Yeah. Okay, here's also another answer from Siddharth to everyone about databases, but just take a look at that answer, everyone. So I'm starting my Jupyter notebook. Where was it? Let me have a look. Connect. Okay. Damn. Sorry. So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, the thing is, you saw how I got connected. So here is the, let's say, here is the credential, right? SSH address, the username, the SSH password, then the user for the database, and the password for the database. Okay, these are the credentials, right? So what I basically did on Python, you need to install, I can send you the names of the libraries that you need. You need to install these libraries, these 3 libraries, right? So this is what I did. And forget about pandas and YML right now. I just imported these 2, just important. Now, I'm just showing you a small piece of code. You can always Google, or I can also send this code to you so that you can use it. It's fine. The reason why I'm showing you this thing has got something to do with data security and visibility. Okay, this is very important. So you see, this is just a simple block of Python code. Okay, so what you see is, this is the SSH Tunnel Forwarder. I have the address here. The address is this. Username is server, you can see. Then my SSH password is this one, you can see. And my remote bind address would be localhost, as we did that again and again on pgadmin and on data grip. This is our port 5432. And then we start the server. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. So we connect the server here. If it starts, then the server is connected, is printed out, and then we go from there. We go to go inside our database, as you saw. So I can just easily give you this code block. So let's take a look. So everything is working. Oh, connection failed. Why did my connection fail? That's weird. Doesn't have to be like this. Let me try again. Connection failed. Why did my connection fail?
One eternity later.
Again, here is the SSH address, Lisa. Look again. This is the SSH address. That's the IP that you got. This is the username, and that's the username for the SSH tunnel, and this is the password for SSH tunnel. This is your username, student, and this is your password, Ada Lovelace 2021, to access the database. Yeah, the problem what I have, the problem isn't a problem anymore. So I can send you the code if you want, okay? I can send you the code. So this is the syntax if you want to connect to an SSH server, and connect to a server by SSH, and from there if you want to connect to the database. So you will have to put down the server address, the SSH address. That's this IP address that you can see, and this is the port. This is 22. If you check your configuration in pgadmin or data grip, you will see there is this port 22 is it's the standard. So here, let me show you this connection properties. So it's basically what we put down here. It's all here. Okay. So username is server. Password is, you can see the password. Now, the server, if you start it, it will print. If it's connected, then it will print connected. Now, you write down these parameters, okay? The user is your user, password is the password. I'm taking these variables from here. Take a look from this cell, and now it should connect. My point is, so let's see if it connects. Yes, server connected, database connected, and I am executing one SQL query here. Select star from ICU 3 days, limit 10. I can also change to AA complete K values. Let's try this. Yeah, so actually I wouldn't do this here. I would actually do it in another cell, but today we're not going to talk about that, because right now to access any table, I'll have to establish a new connection, which is not good. Just to show you one example, this is the SQL query. So here you can see the table. This is how you can read the table on the Python environment from the database. And if you can save this on pandas or something like that in a data frame or a table, you can easily implement any kind of machine learning model, or you can plot whatever you want. Okay. Now the problem is we do not want anyone to know our password, right? So what we do for that, we create a configuration file. So here is the configuration file for students. I have created a YML file. You can use any like there are lots of other ways. You can Google it and you can find it. So this is the configuration student file. It is in the same directory. It's exactly the same place where my Python script is, the notebook. So basically, this is my credentials hidden in my file, hidden in a local file in my device. What I'm doing is I'm just reading everything which is in the file on Python and saving the credentials into variables. And then I will use these variables here. So you see here, the thing is, I have sent Philip and Siddharth my file just 5 minutes ago. I have put down my password, let's say. Now they know my password. This is actually not right. This is not correct. You are not supposed to show anybody any kind of credentials. So this is a safe way. Let's say one of the safe ways. There are many other safe ways. One of the safe way is to store your credentials in a file locally and read the file and read all the credentials and then use them in a hidden way. Okay? If you're still with me, I have an assignment for you. Okay, it's fine. DV connection is working. Now, second, well, the first one, it's done. Second task is, oops, sorry. Second task is create a config file for the DB credentials and connect to DB with Python or R. And, well, you can do it later. The file that I just showed you, like the credentials and then hiding your credentials in a file. Take a look at the tables on the public schema in that database. Yes, because we will be working with those tables. Try to find out what are there and give me questions. What I want is questions from you. I want you to look at the tables. Here are the tables. Let's see. Here are the tables. There are 4 tables. You can have a look. It's a bit dark here. You try to understand what are there, what are they, and then you ask me questions that, okay, what's going on here? What are these tables? Okay, I want questions from you. And what I also want you to do is to create an account at https://www.kaggle.com. This is very important for you. I will explain you why. Okay, everyone, please create an account there. It's free. It's very easy. Just it's done in 1 minute. Yes, whoever. Okay, very good. If you have the Kaggle account, it's very good. Files and then load them. Can we download the files? Okay, files name, you mean the tables, right? Not the files, but the tables in the database. Yes, you can. You can. If you want to load your computer with lots and lots of data, it's downloadable. You can export the tables as CSV into your local computer, and then you can read it locally by Python or R. You can do that. Yes, you can. But I wouldn't suggest it. I mean, if you want to, then download the ICU stay 3 days, that table. This one. I mean, the others, they're really big, especially the AA complete K values. This is huge, huge, huge.
I recommend using the feather format instead of CSV because CSV is not standardized. So if you save things, then either use your language's native format or feather. I posted a link.
Siddha just made a comment. AA complete table has 9.5 million rows. Do not download the AA complete table unless you want to hang your computer. You can do that, but don't do it. Yes, but if you want to download some table, you can download the ICU stay 3 days, that table. I have already pre-processed it. So for the next part of the workshop, oh my God, it's actually getting late. It's 1.5 hours. For the next part of the workshop for the feature engineering, This is important so that you understand from what this ICU stay 3 days, this table was created. Okay, and why is the format different? What's the difference between the ICU stay 3 days? This is the result table. Basically, this is our input table for our machine learning models. What happened before that? I extracted this table from AA complete K values, basic 0409 and base information. And then I created this one input data for my models. So try to understand, try to do some SQL, find out, okay, try to find out the ICU IDs and see if you can join something, if you can work on something. But I think you don't have access. You only have read access. That means you can only do select star, or like you can only use it on the console yourself, but you cannot create a new table or something. I will have to talk to Humayun first, since it's BdOSN server. I have to ask him if we could give you grant for execute and write and stuff like that, because it's actually not a big server. So if like 50 people are connecting at the same time again and doing lots of stuff, it might crash the server. So let's not. Yes, you can subset the data set if you want. If you want, you can subset the data set. Anyway, you have, let's say, how long do you need for this assignment? So first of all, take a look at the 4 tables, try to find out what's happening there. What is the difference between the 3 tables and the ICU stay 3 days, this table. Secondly, try to establish a connection via Python. You can, if you want, I can send you the file where here, I can send it to you. You can try. No, I won't send it to you. Then you can just, no. You have to do it yourself. You need SSH. Let me write down what you need. You need these libraries, and you can also Google a little bit how to connect to a database via SSH tunneling on Python. This is really important to know how to Google and what to Google. I mean, Stack Overflow and lots of stuff. I mean, they have really quite a few good solutions. All the solutions I'm not creating from my head. I have looked into someone else's notebook as well. Okay, so we will do an interactive session with Mihnaz Salsabil. So, Mihnaz, I would like to talk to you.
Yes, Apu, I'm here.
Okay, so let's talk about the table, the AA complete K values. What can you see? Just what do you think what you are seeing? What do you see?
I see, মানে আপু আমি বাংলায় বলি, মানে কিন্তু
কোনো সমস্যা নেই।
আচ্ছা আপু, এখানে যে কলামের নামগুলো আছে অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওগুলোই কনফিউজড, মানে ড্রপ অর্ডার অফ দিস দ্যাট অবজারভেশন উইন্ডো। Actually, I didn't understand anything.
So, okay. So you see the ICU stay ID, right? ICU stay ID, right? This is one column.
Yes,
there's ICU window, time window, AA order window, drug label, drug order offset, observation window, post A window, lab result, close potassium. So this data set has come from Harvard Medical School, and we've got the permission to use it for academic purpose. That's why I'm using it. So what happened here, this is a group of ICU patients, okay?
Okay.
With like first responder 911, they call 911. So these patients were delivered, and this is what you see, the drugs. AA is arrhythmic attack or arrhythmic frequency, like it's kind of heart attack. Let's put it that way. It's AA is heart attack. And the whole data set, and I will go to another table, you will see we want to find out like what is the relationship between the K value. K value is, who had chemistry in school? Who knows what K stands for? What is K? Chemistry element. Which element is K?
Potassium.
Yes.
Potassium.
Exactly. Potassium. So, so there is a relation. We know, I mean, the doctors, they know that there is a relationship between potassium level and heart attack. So this is a study. This is like what they found out in the ICUs. Like, okay, which ICU patients are getting heart attack? So this is what you see, like the time window, ICU window. I mean, this is the thing is, you don't exactly have to understand everything of this table, but it's okay if you can understand how I'm creating, how we're doing the feature engineering. You have to understand, if you want to understand this table, it will take you 2 days. Okay, so let's not go there. We will do something easier. But we have taken this data set to explain our machine learning models, because we have lots of data there. So we can create better models, and we can train our models in a better way. That's why we have chosen this data set. So now let's, the time window, what you see, it's, I think it's in hours. Okay, let's look at the base info data new. So what do you think what's there is? Mehnaz, can you explain me that? This table should be a little bit better.
I'm trying, Apu.
ADM is admission. ADM is admission.
That.
Okay.
It also looks like some medical stuff report database.
Exactly. So here's the thing, what you see, admission age, admission DX, it's admission diagnosis. So you can see they're like different, if I will just share my screen now, then you will see everyone else. If you have them on your screen, it would be good. So you see, this is the admission age, this is the admission diagnosis, cervical stenosis, chest pain, even newborn babies are there, admission time and discharge time. So don't get worried about this weird date, okay? They used an algorithm to hide the real date, because nobody wants to, this is also relevant to data protection and security, information protection and security. Nobody wants to give their names, or even if there is an anonymous ID, we will find out the ID here. You see, here is the ICU stay ID. Even if there are some IDs, simply IDs are not good enough for data architects and for data engineers. It's not good enough. You can easily find out who that can be or not. So that's why the dates, what you will see is, obviously it's like they added some extra years into it, okay? But the duration is the same. So if you let's take this one. So this person was staying in the ICU for 2 days. This is correct. This information is correct. Just the dates are not absolute. These are not exact dates. So you can see death date, whether they died or not. So you can see none. Here's the date. These are, again, let's call them features. Diagnosis AFib. AFib, it's like a different, let's say I'm not a doctor actually, but what I think is AFib is arterial fibrillation or something like that. I don't exactly know what the CHD is, what CHF is, PE is. Renal failure is understandable, like if they had any kidney failure. First care unit, in which unit they were. Gender, of course, men or male or female. This is some different ID. ICU in time, out time, you can understand, and etc. Okay, so what is the relationship? How can you find out the relationship between this base info data and this AA complete K values? I can say that, okay, the ICU ID, it's here, and it's also here in the base info data, okay? So at least this is something common in these two tables. So let's go to the basic 0409. what's happening here. Here you can see it's a little bit different, this table. So let me tell you one thing, this basic 0409, it was actually a little bit engineered, this table. A little bit engineered. So you can see, if I look at the AA complete K values, you will see that there are lots of IDs similar, right? 41 entries for, okay, somehow it changed anyway. I'll choose again. There are like a lot of entries for this ID. Why is that? It's like that because of the time window, because of the duration of the stay in the ICU. Okay, the time window is hours, I think. Yeah, it's not ordered here, but if I order it, let's do one thing. Let's do some selection. What's wrong here? Where am I? So select AA complete K values where ICU ID is equal to this. So let's investigate this person. Okay, I'm somehow not connected. I'm just opening another console. Okay, let's see. Somehow I'm not connected. This is weird. Okay, not that weird. Let's go to another one. Can you please see? Okay, something is wrong. I think I'm out of the database. So I need to disconnect and reconnect again. Sorry. But anyway, let's not waste that much time here because we are having this problem sometimes because lots of people, a lot of us are trying to connect to the database at the same time. So let's have a look. Like we said, like this ID, we can find lots of entries for this ID. And what's actually happening, there is a time window. So you can see there is minus, it's not ordered. I wanted to order it. You could have seen that somewhere there's a 0, time window 0 is like before the prescription, before they got potassium from the doctors, what happened before and what happened after. So the time window 0 means that this is exactly where they got the medicine. And then from this base info data new, we have all the other informations like the admission date, the duration date, whether the person died or not, and what kind of diagnosis they had at the time of admission. So the base info data new is about the other diagnosis. Let's call it comorbidity. You will hear this term a lot in future. Comorbidity is the term those are diseases which is not, let's say we're investigating patients with heart attack. So anything else except heart attack that person has, those are called comorbidities. So that person came with AFib or CHF, I think it's called cholesterol or something, CHF, I have to have a look. But right now, from data science perspective right now, this is irrelevant. So data engineering perspective right now, this is irrelevant, but they means. They are just features for us, renal failure, etc. So what happened in this basic 0409, I did some primary pre-processing, let's put it that way. So we have here like the ICU stay ID, and like we have like one single entry for one single patient, one single ID. In this table, we can see there are like lots of entries for one single ID, but wait, I cannot click because Yeah, now. And here we have only one single entry for one single ID. So here's the age, gender. This is also another score, another feature, lots of features, different kinds of features, everything, etc., etc. And what I did here, ICU stay 3 days. I have extracted only those patients who stayed in the ICU during 3 days of their stay in the ICU. Not like there are patients who stayed there like for 5 days or 7 days. I'm not seeing them. I'm just taking the first 3 days. Why? I will tell you later, or I can tell you now, since I already know the data set, and I have found out that after 3 days, whatever is happening is not that relevant to that patient, to the heart attack patients. The relevancy, it's like it was explained by the doctors, and we have also searched in the database, in the data table. We did not find any significant changes or something in the heart attack between the correlation of potassium and heart attack after 3 days. So that's how I came to this table, this ICU stay 3 days. So take a look at this AA complete K values, how this table looks like. Take a look at base info data new. These two were our raw tables, our input tables that we got from the doctors, from the ICU. And wait, I have to wait a second for the window to vanish. Exactly, now my first output table was this basic 0409. It was the information of all the patients that I found, and the columns are a little bit different. And then the last table is the ICU stay 3 days. If you compare the basic 0409 and ICU stay 3 days, they're a bit similar. The only difference is I have taken the values and the scores during the first 3 days of the ICU stay of these patients. Okay, and now why am I explaining this? I'm coming there. Questions about this data table, anyone? Oh, coronary heart disease, thank you. Yes, we have a doctor here. Yes, Dr. Rehab, thank you. Good. Yeah, I thought it was arterial fibrillation, yeah. Okay, any questions about this data table? No? So now we come to the point feature engineering, right? So what are the steps here for feature engineering? So we have a lot of steps. Imputation, I mean, there are many steps. The thing is, when we do data engineering or data processing, you have to think about, there is no one correct way to do that. You can, let's say, not everything you will need. So first of all, I just tried to list down the points of feature engineering. So you have imputation, one-hot coding, data extraction, grouping, binning, etc. So I think you can understand from the name what it says. Maybe not one-hot encoding, I will show you what that is, but data extraction, you understand what that is. Grouping, binning, log transformation, feature split. So we will go through this, like not all of them, but a few of them. And let's go to imputation first. So what is imputation? You will see, if you can remember from the AA complete K values from that table, there were lots of null values, right? So filling up these null values by 0 or some different strings or some standard name, this is called imputation. Or sometimes if you have maybe you will find there are lots of missing values, because this data that we get, humans are involved there. So this is pretty much easy to make some mistakes. So you will find some missing values. And that's why you will have to come up with some sort of threshold. Let's say this is the 0.7, it's an arbitrary value. How you find out that threshold is completely up to you. You will have to calculate it. Let's say you want to take an average or mean or median, and anything below the median or below the average, you want to drop it. This is called imputation. Okay, you got it? Any questions about that? I cannot see any hands, so you have to tell me if there is any question or not. Someone please let me know.
No question. Everyone is
Okay,
responsible.
good, got it. All right. So now let's go to one-hot encoding. So imputation is the very first step in feature engineering. All the null values, all the missing values, they have to be somehow replaced. Otherwise, your program will not like it, the input. So this is very interesting thing. It's one-hot encoding. So what is one-hot encoding? You see on the left table, let's say this is user 1213211. And these users, these people, they visited these cities, Rome, Madrid, Istanbul, and etc. Okay? So if you get a table like this, if you remember the base new data, the other one, which had lots of information about diagnosis and admission diagnosis and the user IDs, you can also see in the left table, the user one comes 3 to 4 times. He was in Rome, he was in Madrid, he was in Istanbul, he was again in Rome, right? So what we do, we transform it into this shape, in this size. This is called one-hot encoding. So this person, user 1, he was, let's say, not in Istanbul, not in Madrid. We have dropped the column Rome here, but he was in Rome. In case of Rome, there would have been a 1. So the user 2, he went to, on the left table, we can see he went to Madrid. Oops, sorry. Went to grouping. He went to Madrid. And user 2 went to Istanbul. So here, user 2, he went to Madrid here. And then down there, you can see this user 2, he went to Istanbul, right? So you just put it down in a form of yes or no, or like 0 or 1, like binary feature. So basically what you have users and cities. Now you will have user ID and lots of cities as columns. You just have to put down whether this person went to Istanbul or Madrid or Rome, yes or no. You just put a 0 or a 1, okay? This is also called pivoting. You can also pivot, in Excel, you also have this pivot system. It's also called pivoting, but the method of doing this, it's one-hot encoding. Any questions about one-hot encoding? You are clear about that?
Yes, clear.
Good. So let's go to date extraction. This is very important because you will, like in lots of data, you will have this kind of dates, okay? Like day, DD, MM, YYY format. And you can also have like different formats. It depends on where you're getting your data from. As I said before, humans, errors are always there. So first of all, you have to have a look at the format of your date. All of your date, are they in the right format? Do you want to have them in DD, MM, YY format or the YY, MM, DD format? You have to be sure of that one first. Now, just looking at the date, our machine learning algorithm won't be that intelligent seeing the dates, okay? You need to feed them what you mean actually. So what you can do, you can split the dates in this form here. If you can look at the right screenshot down below, you will see that this date, year, month, and if you have a time window or an interval, then you can also write down, okay, how many years have passed since then, or how many months and which day it is. You can create new features from one date, okay? This is the idea. So remember, there was this admission date and discharge date. What is the information that you're having from there? the date, if you give them the date, the machine learning algorithms, they won't help you with that. What you need to give them is the how many days have passed. Let's say, okay, that patient was staying for 7 days, the other patient stayed for 3 days, something like that. So this is called date extraction. Okay, so raw date won't give you any big information for your machine learning algorithm. Any questions on data extraction?
There is a question on one-hot encoding. Someone is asking that, is one-hot encoding similar to binary classification?
Similar. Let's say, well, binary. Let's say, I would like to say in German, yes and no. Binary classification, let's say if you have some column, let's call it a target, okay? So these are your features actually. These are features. So if you want to classify, let's say if we have a target column, which we have to predict, you are right, you are thinking the right way, but these features are not necessary. They will not do a binary classification. You can also do multiple classification. These are just binary features. Let's say here's another column called, let's say, depression. And there are multiple scores for depression. This PHQ-9, or there are different scores. Let's say 1 means no depression at all, 5 means moderate depression, 10 means severe depression. So here, if we want to predict the depression level of this user, let's say, then we will automatically have 3 different classes. In that case, it's not binary anymore, it's multiple, okay? So, but if we have, let's say, depression, yes or no, 0 or 1, in that case, the whole thing will become binary classification. But the features, they will stay the way that they are. Okay? Is the question answered? Is okay? Did you understand? I mean, you use these features, these binary features, to predict your target. And the target, the classification itself can be binary, can be multiple. It's okay if you have these binary features, this one-hot encoding. Is that answered the question?
Yes, she is responding. She has understood.
Okay, good. So we were at data extraction. Let's go to grouping. So let me go back to the one-hot encoding. So you see that we have this user 1 on the right table, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And user 2, we have 2 times. User 3 is 1 time, right? And if you remember the main table, the big table, the AA complete K values table, you will see that there are like the same ICU ID was there multiple times, but we don't want them to be there multiple times. We want them to be entered to the the data form that we want is 1 entry per 1 user ID or ICU ID. We want 1 tuple. Let's call it a tuple. Okay, we want 1 tuple. So first what we did, we had, first of all, imputation. We filled up all the nulls and the missing values with something. We dropped the columns if there are nulls or something. Or we put zeros in the missing values. Then we do the one-hot encoding. So if we have something in this way, we put the city names, which are here as rows, we put them as columns and write down yes or no, like 0 or 1. And if there's like date and stuff like that, we do the date extraction. Instead of like from this date till this date, we find out the exact number of days or months or years. And here is the grouping. So from one-hot encoding, we do the grouping. So now we know that the user 1 went to Istanbul 3 times, Madrid 1 time, days. These are the days. He stayed in Istanbul for 3 days, in Madrid for 1 day, in Roma for 4 days, okay? So this is where grouping comes. Any question now for the grouping? You understood what I'm saying?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, should be,
Yes.
should be. Still pretty easy, actually. Now we go to another way of feature engineering. It's called binning. So you will have lots and lots of values, okay? So let's talk about the K value, the potassium value, or like different values, some injection, some milliliter or whatever. So you will see something like very fine-grained data. Sometimes you don't want to do that. What you want to do is put the values, like bin them. Let's say, okay, value from 0 to 30, it's a low grade, 31 to 7, it's middle grade, and then 71 to 100 is high, something like that. Yes, you will be losing some information. There is a risk. You have to try. There is a risk. You might lose some information, but binning is also okay. You need it because it will there is a problem called overfitting of a data. So if you use binning, if you bin your data, your values, you don't have that problem. I mean, the overfitting is pretty much taken care of through binning. Yes, then we have feature split. I'll just explain you the feature split, and then we will go for a homework. So the feature split here is like just an example. You see, like Toy Story was in 1995, Jumanji came out in 1995, etc. So this is your data in one column. So what do? What you can do is you can split this column. You can make two features out of one. You can just call it, okay, movies and years or something like that, okay? Why am I showing you this feature split? Because it will come handy for your homework. I will show it to you now. Okay, up until now, any questions regarding the different methods of feature engineering? I mean, there are like a lot. I just thought I will show you a few that are really handy, and the others you can also Google, and I have put a link for the feature engineering lesson. You can also learn it there.
I have a question, Apu.
Okay. Yes, tell me.
আমাদের কি স্টেপগুলো কি সবগুলো ফলো করতে হবে, মানে কোনো সিরিয়াল আছে নাকি যেটা যখন প্রয়োজন তখনই?
Whenever you need what. The thing is, like imputation, usually you do it first because you just see a data table and you see nulls and missing values, lots of nulls. So you start with handling the nulls. Okay. So automatically you do imputation first. Okay, because if you don't do that first, if you don't replace the nulls and the missing values, you cannot go forward. Okay. So first you do that, and then you take a look. You can have a look. You can try doing binning, or try like feature splitting, or you can try the one hot encoding. The one hot encoding is really, let's say, it's important. See if you can do one hot encoding. That's I always had to use one hot encoding in my life until now for machine learning. Yes. I mean, but there is no special way. Like that's why we're also organizing the Datathon, the competition, that which group comes up with what feature and what algorithm and how they do this. Okay?
Okay, Apu.
Any other questions? No? Okay. So, Humayun, I think Sabir is waiting in the waiting room. Can you let him in? I don't want to touch anything here since last time something went wrong. Okay. Okay. So you have created, I mean, we took a break an hour ago and you had an assignment. You were supposed to create an account on Kaggle. Did you? Who didn't? Who didn't? যাদের আছে তাদের তো আছেই, but who did not create an account, please হাত তোলো একজন। আমি বকা দিব না, no worries. Just saying, create an account because you will need that definitely, because the Datathon is happening in Kaggle. You will need it anyway. You need to start doing it everything in Kaggle. You will have some practice. Very good. Now let me share my screen again. Oh wait, before that I wanted to give you 2 links. So please, তোমাদেরকে আমি দুটো link দিচ্ছি. I'm giving you 2 links. Number one, this. So I'm pasting it in the Zoom chat. Oh, sorry, I have messaged directly to someone. I'm sorry. What happened? Sorry. Oh, I had a question there. I didn't see. Sorry. Here, Kaggle.com, Titanic. এটা একটু দেখো তোমরা। Another important thing is, if you have time and if you're interested to learn more about this feature engineering, you can also take an online lesson at Kaggle. I'm giving you the link here as well. Yeah, you can learn it later. So please go to Kaggle.com Titanic. So I hope you can see my screen here. So basically go to compete and then you will see Titanic machine learning from disaster knowledge. Okay, so go there. Take a look at the description, and what you need to do is click at data. So you'll see there are 3 datas here: gender submission, test, and train. Forget the gender submission now. Look at the train. This is easy. This is like a CSV data. You can download it. So let me explain you a little bit about this this data. I think I have it somewhere. I don't have to download it. Data sets. No, I don't have it. I'm not sure. I should have it. Yeah, I do. So you can see my screen, right?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is a relatively small data set. You can download it and you can have a look at it, and you can try doing feature engineering on the train CSV. Okay. The reason why I showed you the big data, no, it's not a big data, the bigger data on the database, because we, the workshop mentors, we will be working with it, because without a huge set of data, it's not possible to explain you some important stuff. I mean, the more the data, the better the train set, and the better is the prediction. But here, it's also okay. There is enough. So what you see is, here is survived. That means whether that person has survived or not in Titanic. You know what happened in Titanic, right? This is the passenger ID, survived. P class is like, I think like all the columns are explained in Kaggle, but P class is passenger class, I think. There is name, there is the sex, there is gender. Sib, SP means sibling or spouse. If they had siblings or spouse with them, like a family, let's say this Mr. Brown, Mr. Owen Harris Brown, 22 age, male, he had 1 sibling or spouse with himself. Parch, I'm not sure what that is. I forgot. This is the
Parent and children.
Parent and children, right, exactly. Parent and children, very good. Ticket, this is the ticket name, ticket fare. Sometimes there is a cabin, sometimes not. Embarked is from which deck did he embarked. Okay, so try to use this different feature engineering methods here. So let's see, first of all, we would go with the imputation, so we can see there are some missing values. So you have to come up with some ideas about these missing values. And this is so funny. Sometimes you will see like different cabins for this person. And You have to find out why. Maybe because he has like 3 people with him. That's why 3 different cabins. You have to find out. Now you can do the one hot encoding. Yeah, how can you do the one hot encoding here? Any idea? Anyone, any idea? কে একজন বলো, আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
সিবলিংস আছে কিনা নেই তার উপর ডিপেন্ড করে।
কিসের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে?
সিবলিংস বা স্পাউস।
Yes, we can do that. Sibling 1 or 2, 1 or 0 করতে পারি, we can do that. We can do that. What we can also do is take a look at the deck embarked. Okay? You can easily do one hot encoding here. Okay? You can make a column S, C, Q, etc. You can put them as columns and write down 0 or 1. Here, see, there is something is missing. You can just transform this embarked column into different columns of the decks and use the one hot encoding there. What else can we do? The fair. We can do binning here, maybe not. You have to try. Fair, we can do that. The binning step, we can do it there. The thing is, sex and age, they are very typical. So I would keep them like this. Basically, sex is a binary feature. It's male or female here in this case. We can also do the P class, the passenger class. We can also we can also implement one hot encoding here. We can see 1, 3, third class, second class. You have to have a look how many classes are there. Okay, you can do it on Python. What I usually do, I always, if I'm working on a database, if I'm working with larger set of data, I always try to do everything, all the feature engineering in SQL on the database as long as I can, as much as I can. So what you saw in the database, the AA complete values, K values and everything, and then the resulting table, ICU stay 3 days, I did everything on the database. So it's usually better if you get like your data in the database, you stay in that environment for as long as possible. And then once the data is like curated and pre-processed, then you can do everything else. You can start using machine learning algorithms or start doing some plots or some descriptive analysis. But here in this Titanic set, you won't have to do this in SQL or something. You can easily do it in Python or R. Okay, any other idea what we can do with this data set in sense of feature engineering? What didn't we discuss? Okay, let me get back to the grouping. It's a good idea, grouping. We can group it, of course, it's an idea. You can, how can you group it? Tell me. What will you group here? Male, female, you can do that. But I wouldn't do that according to age grouping. Yes, you can try, of course, according to passenger class. Of course you can, of course. Very good, nice ideas. But here's the thing, like if the P class, if we are doing one hot encoding in case of P class, in that case we will have passenger class 1, first class, second class, third class in columns, and then we can see if we can group. You can do that, definitely. You can definitely do that. I am thinking of another thing. The date extraction is not applicable here. We can see feature splitting. Can we do feature splitting here? How? Lisa, tell me. Lisa, you can unmute yourself and then say that. Ticket and fare. This is the ticket. This is the fare. They're already splitted. They're already splitted. What we can do is we can split the ticket. Okay, we can split the ticket. The fare is in pound or dollar. I don't know, something. You will have to find a correlation between the fare and the class and the passenger class, of course, and the deck. And the deck, you can find some you can see if you can find some correlation. Cabin, you can split the cabin. That you can do. You can do that. You can split the cabin.
Split the name, I think.
Yes, very good. Who is this?
I'm Shorna.
Shorna, you can split the name. And to be very particular, what I would suggest, split the title.
Title.
You can split the title because I can see that there is also some, if you have a look, there is some Dawn. There is some Dawn there. There's some Miss, Mr. There also, if you have a look, there's some Master there. There's some, let's have a look, Cornell or something like that. Reverend. Here is another Reverend. So let's see if their survival has got something to do with their title and their class, you know. So let's have a look. So this is what I wanted to tell you, everyone, that was like feature engineering, some very basic ideas like what feature engineering is, where you can, where you need to concentrate, what you need to do. And I also sent a link how you can learn feature engineering. And you can also, for practice, you can go to Kaggle, take a look at the train data. If you want, you can take a look at the data table that you saw in the database. If you want, you can, if you want to work on those data tables, please contact me or Humayun from BdOSN, because we have not granted access to do anything there. You can only select, you can only see the table, you can only select the tables. But if you want to do, yes, you can select, you can join, you can do lots of stuff, but you cannot write, you cannot execute. Just because if we give you that grant, you would be able to drop the table, and we don't want you to drop the table. But if any of you is interested in working with those tables, and if any of you can find even a better table than ICU stay 3 days, which I created, please, we can do that. Okay. So I'm very sorry that this workshop has taken so long. It's 10 minutes. I actually wanted to show you something more. Maybe I can, but just like a very short overview. I wanted to show you some descriptive analysis of this ICU 3 days of that file, and I wanted to show you that what I did there. But anyway, so here's the thing. Once we have the input data, my ICU stay 3 days, that data, or like if you do the Titanic challenge, if you try to do some feature engineering on the train CSV, be sure that you do some descriptive analysis on it. Be sure what's the proportion of the targets. Let's say here, the proportion on the y-axis, you see the proportion of the ICU patients, and on the x-axis, you see how many of them did get a heart attack or this arrhythmia. So you can plot it. And of course, gender distribution is a very important thing, and age distribution as well. Let's see what's happening here. I will just show you very briefly what I found out. Come on, what's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah, so some age distribution. You can do some gender distribution. There are lots of features in that data. So there was one Apache 4 score. So just let's see if it makes any sense. Look at the distribution there. Look at the distribution of the Charleston score. I'm talking about the ICU data. And take a look at the binary features. So the binary features are the one hot encoded data, right? So there was a question if that's a binary classification. No, it wasn't a binary classification. It can be a binary classification, but it can be also multiple classification, but the features are binary. So basically, I just plotted the distribution of the binary features with 0 and 1 and stuff like that. And so you can see that the ICU patients with arrhythmia, they were intubated on the first day. They have a higher proportion of that, and et cetera, and et cetera. Yeah, there also, there is the, I also calculated the correlation here. Remember the first workshop from last week, Sabir told you the difference between Spearman correlation and Pearson correlation. Try to find out which correlation you can use for this kind of data set. Then you can plot it if you want. And actually, then I wanted to show you a little bit in the logistic regression. Your first, let's say, a small machine learning algorithm, but I don't think we won't make it today into that. So we stay here. Let's say the Python code of the SSH configuration. Yes, you can. The questions, okay, first of all, the questions are getting collected by volunteers, and they will send me, or if it's related to my workshop, I will get the questions and I will answer them. If it's related to, let's say, Philip's workshop, he will be doing the machine learning algorithms, then those questions will be forwarded to Philip, and then he will answer it on his workshop. So the Python code or anything else, please, it's fine. Our volunteers are collecting these questions. I will reply then. I will not, I really don't want to send any code or copy paste anything on the Zoom chat. Let's not do that here. I will email that code. It's okay. So I need to drink water. Philip, do you have any question?
Nope.
Okay, then I would like to.
It's all very, very normal data processing stuff, because like there's the columns are never the way that they are actually useful in the beginning, and you always have to do some feature engineering like that in practice. So
yeah, it's actually, the thing is, machine learning algorithms are, let's say, always the same. It's what you feed them, what you feed the algorithm. That is where you need to use your brain. That is where human beings come in. So not everything is possible by machine. You have to do some work too. So even if you use the same data set, even if you use the same machine learning algorithm, I can guarantee you that during the datathon, different teams will have different results, because the way, first of all, the way they do the feature engineering, and of course, there are some parameters, some hyperparameters, and of course, which machine learning algorithm you're using, of course, they're very important, but alone by feature engineering, you can achieve a lot. Okay. If Philip, you have no questions or something, I would like to switch to Bengali to the students for the last 5 minutes to get some human interaction.
okay, great. Then goodbye, everyone, and see you later.
Yeah, see you next week, Philip.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Bye.
Okay.